What's going on, everyone? We're live here on this doom and gloom just because of the rain Friday morning here, and I figured we'd go fishing. I got the day off today. Need to take a little brain break, so I'm going to be playing some games all day. So you'll probably see a couple more streams today if you're watching live, and if you're watching this on recording, you can kind of get a feel for how this game plays. But today we're going to play a game that I haven't touched in a while. I really enjoy it. And we're going to play the solo game of it. This is Freshwater Fly. It's a game from Bellwether Games, and it goes 1 to 4 players. And if you know something about me, and if you watch any of my other streams, you know I like solo games. So we're going to get into it. Um, I'll explain the rules as we go. There's a lot to the game for a fishing game, but we kind of just set up the game right here. And what's cool about the solo game is it comes with a logbook in the game as kind of like an adventure mode. So that's kind of what we're going to do today. We're doing day 1 of the adventure. I printed these out, but they're inside the manual as well. And basically what this is it's you go through 7 games with the against the AI, and then whoever wins that wins the whole game, wins the challenge. And on day 1, we're right here at the Crooked Fork, and we set up the fish right here as you do. So what's cool about this is you start with basically nothing. Like you start with the base reel. There's 4 of these reels in the game. You start with some finesse down here and only 1 momentum tile, which I'll talk about in a second. But as you check off more right here, at the end of each game, as you check off more fish, every fish you get, you calculate them, and then you can get a star. And with those stars, you can turn into bonuses for your next game. So you can get new rods, a new skill card every day, adding more of these rock cards every game, starting your finesse token up here more. So as you play your 7 games, you're going to unlock more and more things. But to start, you basically start with the base stuff here. And you can't move on to the next fishing spot until you beat the first fishing spot. So we might be here a couple games. It depends on how we play here. But essentially, we are facing what they call a silent angler, and he'll be taking dice that you don't. So in a normal game of Freshwater Fly, you roll these dice and you take actions with them. Well, in this game, you roll the number of dice per number down here on the hatch tile, and you take the first 3, and then whatever's left over, be it 2 or 1, that dice goes to the silent angler and they do an action. So really quick, how the game works is we're going to be using these dice. It's pretty much a dice manipulation game and a dice drafting game. So we're going to be placing out the fish, which we did right here. There's 3 rock cards here to start the game. Underneath them are special abilities that we can gain throughout the day. And we basically go fishing. So a number of ways you can use the dice. So let's go over them really quick. So to start the main thing that you obviously want to do is catch fish. So say I take this 4 dice here. I would take my cast token and put it in the 4 column anywhere I want. Now anywhere you want, it could mean a number of things. So there are names of fish and there are colors of fish. Gold being the hardest to catch, but they also have the higher point value. And then we have gray, which is kind of the middle of the road, but still, it'll still give you some points. And then green are easier to catch, give you some points, but can help you with some set collection stuff. So what we start out with here on our board is kind of how our reel scores. And this one gives me 2 points for every brown fish, and then 4 points for every set of a dolly, cutthroat, and brook. So it kind of gives you something to work for. In the case of this 4 right here, there is a brown fish there, so I might want to cast here. And what you do when you cast in the normal game, I mean, in the game, I kind of spice it up. But in the game, they give you a set of 4 cards here, and you would draw a card, and if it doesn't have fish on it, you didn't catch the fish. So then you have a choice. You can either use a finesse token down here, which you can spend 1 finesse to draw 1 more card, or you can move down the river. When you move down the river, you can now cast one additional one. And then depending on what fly you have, so this one I'm white, there's a white here, so now I get to draw 2. Didn't get it, and I caught it. So now you would catch, I would take this off, take the cutthroat, put it right here on my wheel, on my reel, and then because I landed next to this rock card, I would take that rock card and it's mine for the rest of the game. You'd also take the white, the corresponding hatch tile, or hatch token they call this, and you would put it right here on your reel. So that's one way to use the dice, is to catch fish. Another way to use dice is to simply roll, reel in, and you would spend, let's say I take this 3. I'm not going to spoil it because I might get this card later, but there's a number up here that will say, okay, do 3 minus whatever this number is turn-wise. So say there's a 1 up there on the other side of this card, because on the other side of the card is the points. So you don't know what points you're getting until you get the fish and flip it over. So I don't know what's on the other side of this. And then you would turn the reel that many corresponding points. Gives you some stuff, some bonuses, which we'll get through in a little bit. Essentially, for gold, when you make it around once in this wheel, the card would then slide to the gray one. You have to go one more time, slide it over the green one, and then you do one more time to catch the fish. And the game ends when either you or the opponent catch the 7th fish. So I showed you those cards. What I did, I don't like the cards. It's a little bit fiddly for me. So what I did was I ended up making this bag of tokens. And you can make them too. They're pretty easy. But I just cut them out and I put the same symbols on them. So now I'm just reaching into a bag and pulling the tokens. So yeah, put this back here. Another way to use dice is you can use the dice to move your finesse token up any number of spots. What finesse does is it lets you take actions during your turn to help kind of manipulate the dice a little bit better, manipulate your turn a little bit better. You can add numbers to the die. You can plus or minus 1 on a dice. You can move a hatch token, so one of these tokens you can move ahead or back. You can draw an extra card, or in my case, token. You can swap out your fly. Right when you start the game, you start out with 1 that you just choose based on how you see the layout here. So I chose white because I see there's a good distribution of white here. But you have to spend some 2 or more to swap out your fly token, and then you can spend 4 to put this reel on top of the fish. And what this reel does is it blocks any restrictions that come when you reel it in. So now if you have this token on a fish, whatever dice you use to reel it in, that's how much you reel in. So if I put a 6 down, I can do 6 turns on the reel for that one fish, and we'll get to that as we go about it. And then we also have I think they're called momentum tiles, which are these up here, and you only start with 1 during the game. So during this game, as we progress, we'll get more. But we'll start with this 1, and you can only use 1 of these per turn, but they help you do some stuff. So my turn, I can spend this momentum tile to either swap out a hatch tile, swap out a fly, or cast out into the 6th lane. So basically, not even use a dice, but I'll be able to cast out into the 6th lane here. And then when you're done, you flip it over, and then you put it there, and then you'll be able to get it back. However, you gain a momentum, which is right down here if you land on the reel, which we'll do that as we play. But now if I gain access to this momentum tile, I can now spend it to just get 3 finesse. So let's play the game. The scoring is very simple for the turn, and the scoring is pretty simple for the silent angler. Basically on the angler's turn, they're just going to go for fish, and that's it. And we'll kind of go that way as we get there. We'll do a quick rule check on something, and then we'll begin. All right. So now we're going to begin. And what we do is we, again, roll the amount of dice that are on this this last hatch tile. It's basically on deck. So once the round is over, this hatch tile is going to move to this side, and then this one's going to come up here, so it's called the on deck one. So you basically roll the amount of dice that are here. Right now it's at a 5, so we're going to roll these 5 dice, and then we get to pick 3 of them. And we take all of our turns in a row as well. So I'm going to start out by taking this 6. I'm going to cast into this lane here. Now I get 2 points for every brown here. There's also some cutthroats here in the same line. I think I'm just gonna cast out into the 6 here. And then what you do to cast is you either draw those cards, or in my case, you draw you draw a token, and see if you caught a fish, and you get 1. It's a miss. So my casting token drifts down. So I'm gonna drift down to here. And now because I have a white fly and there's a white token here, I can draw 2 more tiles, 2 more tokens. The miss. I got 1 more. It's a miss. Now, I believe I drift 1 more, but I need to check the rules. Again, I haven't played this game in a while, so let me just check. Yep, we get to drift 1 more time, which is essentially going to allow me to catch the fish regardless, because we have a white token here. If there wasn't a white token here, we would be out. But in this case, we're going to end up catching that fish because I'm going to draw from this token bag. And we caught the fish. So we'll put those there for now. I'm going to catch this brown. I flip it over. And you can see here what I was talking about. So it has a reel here. So every time I reel it in, it would be whatever the die value is minus 2. And that's how many times I reel it in. It's also worth 4 points at the end of the game. And because it is a gray card, it goes right here in the middle. And I grab this white token with it, and that's my hatch tile, my hatch token. This will come off the board because I was next to this rock card. Anytime you catch a fish next to a rock card, you get the fish, or you get the rock card. Grab this rock, flip it, and now I can use 3s as 4s for the rest of the game, which it's a nice little bonus if I want to use that. So I'll put that right here. Now anytime I use a 3, I can use it as a 4 instead, which would, help with some reeling here and such. So let's do that. We'll put these back in the bag. And now every time you catch a fish, you just replace them with the top 2 fish here. And I still get 2 more turns. So we have a fish here. And now I can use any of these 4 dice to catch something or to do something else. So you can't catch 2 fish. You have to once you have a fish on the line, you have to catch it before you catch another fish. So, as you would. And what I'm going to do is I'll show you. I'm going to take this 4, and I'll show you why I did that and what this means. So I'm going to use the 4 to reel this in what would be 4 spaces, but because there's this 2 here, it's 4 minus 2, so I would reel it in twice. So I just do 1, 2. Now, where your reel lands, you get a bonus. So if I were to land here on this first one, I would take this token and cover it up. Now every time I reel it in, it's whatever the die value is. So if I rolled that 4, I could reel them in 4 times. I landed here. And what that does is it lets me get this momentum token right there. Momentum tile. So I'll grab this. Now it's mine. So I can swap out my fly anytime I want, or I can cast into the 6th lane without spending the dice. That's pretty cool. This other one here, if I landed here, would add 1 finesse. And if I landed up here, it would just basically mean if you had a green fish on the line, catch it. But if you had a gold fish on the line, move 1 space back. Do that. That's my second die action. You don't read, there are a ton more momentum tiles here, but you don't get them until you unlock them in the solo game. In the regular game, they're all out there, like if you're playing with other people. I get one more dice action, because you always take, as in the solo game, you always take 3. One more dice action, huh? I will do this. I'll take the 4. Oh, sorry, I'll take the 6. Because I want 6 minus 2. I rolled in 4 times. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So because I passed this spot on the top, he slides down. And because I landed on this spot, this reel token now goes on top of that, making it easier on my next time to reel that fish in. So now we go to the Silent Angler's turn, and we take the lowest number first for him. So he'll be casting into the bottom of the 1. And he's just going to try to catch the fish. And you draw just kind of like what you do. He did not get one, so he'll drift up. Draw it again. He drifts up. The Silent Angler drifts up, unlike you. He did not get it, and so he will not catch a fish this time because he can't catch a fish on a rock. These go back in here. And then he will now cast into the 5 lane here. A miss. He'll drift up. And he caught a fish. So he will catch this fish. It will become part of his set collection. And so we take that off. We'll give this brook to him. And then we also give him, based on where he is, we give him a color if available. And if not, we'll decide. It tells you how to decide. So we caught it in the 5th. So if there's a blue token available, we'll take a blue. There is not. Then we'll take an orange if it is. So he'll take this orange. And again, it becomes part of his set collection at the end of the game. We'll just give him those cores for now, or those tokens for now. And another fish comes out. And that's the end of the first round. So these all slide down. This one comes up here, and now we have, this one is now on deck. And so now because we have a 4 here on the bottom right of this tile, we only roll 4 dice. We still get 3, but the Silent Angler gets 1. Roll these. That was a 5. All right, so now I get the first 3 turns. I should reel this guy in. I just need 1, 2, 3, 4 to reel him in. So if I reel him in twice, we'll take this 2 to reel him in twice, because we'll go 1, 2. What that does is it gets the reel closer to the finish, and it gets me 1 finesse because I landed on that. I could use this 3 as a 4 if I wanted to. I could also swap out my fly, which I can't do right now because I have a fish on the line. So I just need 2. I can also use the dice to get more finesse, which I think I might end up doing after this. I'm going to reel him in 5, because then I'll do this. I'm going to go 1, 2, which catches this guy, but then I continue 3, 4, 5, which gets me 1 more finesse. But by then he's reeled in. I caught him, so he's now in my set collection here. This token is now also part of set collection. And this always resets back to the top. And that was my movement there. And I get one more die. So I could go out and catch a fish. Maybe in this 4 lane might be a good one. You know what? I'm going to try casting out into the 4 lane. So I'm going to use my 3, but because I have this special card here, it becomes a 4. So I can cast into this lane here. I believe I will do that. It's all about catching fish, right? So now I don't see a white token here. So if we drift into this lane, we won't be able to get any cards. So I'll have to drift, keep drifting. But we'll get to there if we cross that. So I get a set collection bonus for Dolly, Cutthroat, and Brook. And there's a Cutthroat and a Brook in here. So I'm going to go for this Brook. And then I will draw my tokens. The miss. So I'm drifting here. There's no white token, so I have to drift again. You can only drift 3 times. Or twice. So now I'm going to go for this Grayling. Actually, instead I'm going to drift from this brook. I'm going to drift up. And I'll drift up again to this other brown. And I get to draw 2 of these. Nope. Caught it. Got him. So now we will take this. Catch that. This brown is now gold, so it's going to be pretty valuable. So it's a 5-point brown with a real token of 1. So that will go there. Again, I'm going to grab this white token. And because I caught it next to 2 rocks, I get to choose 1. So I'm going to grab this one here. And it's another bonus. So now I can spend 2 finesse to cast into the 3rd row. So it's another way to not use dice. It's a way to use your finesse to your advantage in this game, which is nice. You're not all about using the dice in this one for these cards here, which is nice. So now that those are gone, I get to replace these. And that is my turn. So now there's only the 6 die left, so he's going to cast out into the bottom row of the 6. We're going to put these tokens back in the bag. You catch it? Miss. He'll drift up. Another miss. He caught it. Got that steelhead right there. So the steelhead will go in his collection. And he will also, because he was in the 6, he's looking for a white token. There are no white tokens in the 6th row or 6th column. He's looking for blue. No blue. Then orange. So we'll take this orange. Then we replace this. There. That's that round. I got a fish on the line now, which is very nice. We're going to be moving these again. Again, you go until you have 7, until one of you has 7 fish. He has 2 already. I'm working on my 2nd right now. Now we're going to roll 4 dice and begin the next day. All right, and again, because there's a 4 there, I get 3 of them and he'll get 1. I have a bunch of ways I can use this. I have 2 finesse, which means I can change out my fly right now if I wanted to. I could spend 2 finesse just to cast into the 3 lane, which is good with this white fly, but there's no other fly, so I need to be pretty confident that I can get this fish. But with the finesse that I have now, I can always add another token, say 1 more chance at getting a fish. I have a brown. Actually, I don't even want to cast right now. I want to reel in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna reel this sucker in if I can. So I gotta take this 2 because I'm gonna reel in, and it's 2 minus whatever this says here, and it's 1. So I get to reel it in once. You say it seems like a kind of a waste of a turn, but this area here, when I reel to it, lets me take this and now cover this guy. So now whenever I reel in that many times, and there's no subtraction going on. Now I'm good there. I get 2 more dice. So I'll take this 1, and you can, it says any number dice, whatever you take, you can add 2 finesse. Now I'm at max finesse. And then I'm just going to reel in 5 times, which is 1 full rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I passed this spot, now the brown is closer to my boat, ready to reel it in. Once I get it 2 more times around, the fish is mine. And now we got 1 die left. That means your angler is going to cast into the bottom row here of the 1 column. See what he's got. It's a miss. He will go up. It's a catch, which is bad. I tried to force him into this lane because if he didn't catch a fish here, he would have not caught a fish this round. However, he did, and what's even worse is, so he'll get this fish. He's in the 1 column. He's looking for a yellow token if there is one. There isn't. Now he's looking for a white. Nope. And there's a blue. So take this blue with him. And because he caught next to a rock, he just takes this away from him. So from me. So let's just see what we would have gotten. This would have... I don't even know what that is. I want to look at what this is. This is the rock card G. Let's check it out because it looks kind of crazy. There's a good appendix. Every card, every tile has a number on it. Helps you with it. At any time during your cast, you may restart your cast. Move the casting token back to where you started the cast. Reshuffle the strike cards and begin the cast again. If you had hooked a fish before restarting the cast, the fish goes back in its place. Wow, that's really cool. And then you discard the card. That's a cool, that would have been a cool one right there. But we don't get that one today. Not today. And then these go back. New cards come here. That would have been a really cool one to restart your cast. Very interesting. So that's what he gets. The rock card he doesn't score though, so that just goes in the discard. And now we start the new round here. Now he has 3 fish. I gotta remember. So 3 fish. Someone needs 7 to end the game. I only have 2. I gotta reel this guy in. Let's put these back. And we'll roll 4 dice. We have a 6, a 2, and 2 1s, huh? Well, I probably want that 6. So I'm going to grab the 6. And I'm just going to reel this in 6 times, which is going to end me here, but I'll just do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now he is 1 step closer to catching him. And now if I do a 2, it's not going to be good for me because I would land here and then it would bump me back down to here. So what I will do is I'm going to use this 2. And I'm going to spend 1 finesse, because when you spend a finesse, you can plus or minus 1 to a die, and I'm going to make it a 3. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, and I caught the brown fish. Nailed it. So now we have 2 browns, which is good for our set collection, because on this reel, we're looking for 2 points. We get 2 points per brown fish, and we have 2. And they're pretty high value ones right now. We have a 4 and a 5, so we have 2 fish. The angler has 2 fish, and I still get 2 more turns. No, I still got one more turn. So I need to use this 1 to do something. I could cast into the 1. There's another brown there, but I don't have the proper token. I could spend 2 to swap. Oh, I can use this tile. Well, let's just use that. I'm going to use this tile to swap out my fly. So once you do that, once you use it, you flip it over. Now it's a new advantage. I'm going to take this fly. I'm going to swap it out for a gray one. So that was using the tile. I could spend some finesse to cast into the 3 lane, which I might do actually. It's going to use some finesse, but it helps me at least get out a little bit more and potentially catch a fish. Actually, I'm going to. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll try this card out. I'll spend 2 finesse out. I still have one more die I can use too, which is we might use this to the advantage here. So I spent 2 finesse, and now I'm going to cast into the 3rd column here. And I'm going to go for a Cutthroat. This guy right here. Because I get some set collection. If I can find another Dolly or a Brook, I at least get something for the set. But they're all high value, so we'll see what happens here. So you cast as usual. Miss. So much for that. So I drift down to here. There is no gray token here. I can drift 1 more time, and luckily there's 2 here. And because I drifted to a spot with the same color as my fly, I get to draw 2 tokens. Caught him. Only took 2 chances, but I got him. And luckily, it's a brown. And he's in the middle here. I'm going to take my gray hatch token, put him right there. And I get 1 more. Oh, let's flip this over. Boom. So this stinks. So I'm going to have to use another finesse if I want to do something. So here's the scenario. We have 2 1s. And if I can't reel this in at all because he has a 1 value on his reel on his reel spot here. So 1 minus 1 is 0, so I would do nothing. It's a waste of a turn. So I could either spend a finesse to make that a 2, and that would put him right here to get that reel token on it. But what I might just do right now is just spend the 1 die to get 2 more finesse. That way it's have a little bit more flexibility. And then he's going to go, the Silent Angler is going to cast into the 1. He's back in here. Drain break, everybody. That's a miss. So he's going to actually get up there. And he caught that middle one there. So he will catch this grayling. He's now at 4. I want to make sure I'm counting these correctly. So by the time he gets to 7, there's 4 there. Because he caught it in the 1, he's looking for a yellow token. There's no yellow, so he goes to white, no blue. He's going to grab this orange again. Then that'll be replaced right there. And now, we slide these down and begin a new day. Once you know how to play, the game moves super fast. And it's pretty cool. It's obviously, you never thought like a game about fishing would be neat or satisfying. This to me, this is. I like it. So now we're gonna roll 4 dice. All right, so we got some good numbers here. I get choice of the first 3. I'll just take this 6. The 6 will let me reel this in 5 times because there's a 1 here. So 5 minus 1, or 6 minus 1 is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He gets a little closer. I will then actually spend 1 finesse to make this 5 a 6. And then reel this in as well. So now I got this brown as well. So I have 3 fish to the Silent Angler's 4. Fine. I get one more pick. I can cast out and grab another fish. Maybe out here. I can spend two of these finesse to get into that third lane, which I might. Because I have a gray token right now. I have a gray token here, so the only ones that I can actually go to are any of these two. I'll show you how the finesse works. This is going to be kind of a tricky move, because I don't want to spend these 2 finesse. It'd be interesting. I'd rather spend the 1 finesse here to make this 2 a 3. Instead of spending 2 finesse to cast into the third. It uses a die, but it saves me a finesse. So it's fine. So we'll cast into the third row here. I'm gonna grab go for a cutthroat right here in the middle. Nothing. And then I can move down 1 any which way. I'll go for this grayling right here. I'll go for this grayling in the middle. And now because there's a gray token, I can draw 2 more. Nothing. And I caught him. My strategy was going to be if I did not catch him there, I would have spent 1 finesse to draw the final token and would have caught him. So I'm going to catch this grayling here. And he's going to go in this gray row. Worth 3 points, very nice. And then this rainbow trout's going to go right on top. So again, if you're just joining in the middle of this or have been wondering why I've been drawing tokens, they don't come with the game. The game actually comes with these cards that you would shuffle each time and draw 1 to see if you got the fish or not. They also have an app which works just as well. It's just 4 cards that you randomly shuffle, and it gives you a card every time you're casting. So it's a cool system. But I like the tokens better just because it saves you from shuffling 4 cards the entire game. So now that's my turn, and there's only the 5 dice left. So the angler's going to go right here into the brown, or the 5th column on this brown. And then we got to go. Did not catch it, so he moves up. The silent angler moves up as you move when you move that way. It's just a way for them. It's just part of the system. And he caught that fish right there. Boom. So he's got 5 fish. This dolly's going to him. And because he was in the 5th column, he's looking for a blue token, and there is one right here, so he grabs that. And this fish is replaced. And we move on to the next round. This slides down. And then now we're still drawing 4 dice for 2 more rounds, and then we get drawing 5 dice again. But for right now, 4 dice. All right, we got 2 4s, a 6, and a 1. So I would like to start reeling this thing in. Right here is where I can add that token, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to use this 4 to reel this in 3 times because it's 1. So 4 minus 1 is 3. 1, 2. I'm going to land right here, 3, which gives me a finesse. And then I will also use this other 4 to do the same thing. Go 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, which lets me two things. One, he gets closer to being caught, and two, now this token goes on top of him. Should I have done that? 3, 5? Yeah, that's fine. And now it's my turn. So my turn again. So I'm actually going to keep him on the line, which I don't know if that's a good idea. If I keep him on the line, I will get that token. But you know what? I just want to reel him in. So I'm going to grab this 6 and just bring him home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which gets me the finesse token, actually. The finesse tile. And then it reels this guy in. Then this resets. So I get this grayling here. This token's now part of my set. And that is my turn. So now it's the Silent Angler's turn. He's going to cast into the bottom row of the first column and try to catch himself his 6th fish. Immediate catch. That son of a... So he gets that. He's got fish number 6, so probably next round is what he's is probably the end of the game. So catches that fish. He caught it in the first row, so he's looking for a yellow token. So he takes that yellow token. And we'll go over the scoring after this, because I need a refresher myself, so this will be pretty good. So that goes there. He has 6 fish. I only have 4, yeah, I only have 4, so it's gonna be a rough one. Let's we're gonna go to our last. It's probably gonna be our last round here. So these tiles shift. And we'll be rolling 4 dice again. And I don't, like I said, I feel like I'm going to be losing. I won't be able to catch a fish unless I catch a very low valued one. It's going to be a tough one. We'll see. Let's assess the dice first. 2 1s and 2 6s, huh? Now, I have a gray token, which is kind of rough because I only allow me to cast into this 5th column. And then I won't be able to drift any farther. Oh, this is rough. But I could switch out, use my finesse to switch out a token. Are there any more? This brook is pretty easy, seems easy to catch. And there's a bunch of gold. Gold is usually just it's just a tough one to reel in with one more round left, so. Let me go for... I'm going to spend 2 finesse. We swap this out for a green. Because then I'm going to use this 6 here to cast out on this cutthroat here. I'm going for the cutthroat because it's green and it means it'll be easier to reel in. And now we're going to go draw for it. I basically have 3 chances. Miss. So I drift down here. There's no green here. So I could drift one more time. I'll drift down here on this brook. And I get to draw 2 of these tiles. So I have a 66% chance of catching the fish. Nothing. Nothing. Oh, that was a bad one. So I didn't catch the fish at all. If I had a finesse, I would have been able to draw the last one, but I miscalculated that. So that was a bad turn. A very bad turn. I really don't know what to do now. I should have added this plus. I will do that. I'm gonna retract it. You know, it's my house, my rules. So I'm gonna add 3 to that, which would have maxed me out. I would have maxed out and then used the 2. So then I would have then used. So here's kind of me retracting, and that's what you can kind of do in a solo. Is like I should have used that, so I caught myself. So I had a token that would have raised my finesse 3. So I was here. So I would have raised it as max as I could. And then I spent the 2, 1, 2, to swap out the fly. I didn't catch the fish, but I could spend 1 finesse to draw that last token. So I do that. And I will catch this brook. or get him on the line with this green token. So a little skirting of the rules, you know, it's fine. But that token's now actually flipped and is now that one there. So now it's still my turn. I get 2 more dice. I could just reel them in right now with the 6, so I will. I'm going to do the 6. So 6 minus 1 is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this brook is mine. This brook is mine. So is that hatch token. And I have 1 more turn I can use with a 1, which is really kind of a throwaway because I'm pretty sure he'll be catching the fish. I will use this, I guess, to try to get a fish on the line. Why not? I'll use that to add 2 finesse to see what happens. And what I keep forgetting is I could. How dare you? What I keep forgetting is I could have used the finesse to moved hatch tokens, which I never really thought of, but essentially I could have used it to say move this one to here, so now there's 3 green tokens in a row, which is a good thing. But that's for the next day. Right now we're on day 1 of this adventure log. Now it's his turn. He's going to cast his thing cast his line right here into the steelhead. He uses the 1 die to cast into the 1 column. We're going to put these tokens back in here. What up, Christian? Get in here. We're fishing. And then I'm going to go get a little game called Welcome To at Diversions in a little bit. Does he catch the first fish? No. Slides up. Boom. Second fish? Nope. We might be going another round. 2 more tokens left. He gets 1 more chance at this. No, he caught it. Okay. If the silent angler does not catch a fish during the entire round, you slide this finesse token up once. Meaning he'll get points instead, because he basically didn't do any turns. Score more than 0. I don't even know. I forget. I don't even know. My score for Welcome To is probably somewhere in BG stats. So we'll catch this brook. And then that is, I believe, the game. Let me double check the rule. The rules. Let me check those rules, baby. The day ends at the end of any round when either you or the silent angler caught the 7th fish. So that's the end of the round, or end of the game right there. So now we will score. Put this right here. Get it on there. Score is normal, but with the following addition. To the common achievements shown on the game board, you earn 1 point for every hatch token you gained that matches this color. Okay. So let's get some scoring going on here. We'll do it on the back of this, because that's all I have handy. Oh, I know you're referencing, yeah, Tiny Towns. If you're watching this later, Tiny Towns was a rough one. Literally, after going off of 2 big 30-point games in Tiny Towns, I end up with a score like that. That's crazy. So we'll do my score. I'll do B versus the angler. So I get 1 point per gray token I have. So that's 1. I get 3 points per set of every color, and I have, so that's only, I have 1 set, so that's 4. The first person to 7 fish gets 2 points. I believe that's him. So the silent angler scores 1, scores fish cards and the common achievements as you do. Then the silent angler also scores the points shown on the achievement track, which there are none. And then the achievements are listed on this right here, which we'll also check out. So he'll get 2 points because he received 7 fish first. Thanks, bud. Get back to work. We'll play later. We'll do some Welcome To and stuff. I'll be around. Whoever has more coho than the other gets 6 points. Well, no one has any coho. That's nothing. Coho is a pretty pricey fish, which I should have always went for 1. It would have been nice. So that's that. My personal score here is I get 2 points for every white. I have 5. I have 5 fish and I don't have one. I should have another green token on here. I think. Right? That sucks. So I should have, I have 5 fish and some other tokens here. So I should have maybe had another green. Yeah, I should have another green. So I get 2 points for every white, so it's another 4 points. I get 1 point for every green. It's another 2 points. And no extra points for gray because I already scored gray up there. I get 2 points for every brown. I have 3 of those, so that's 6. I don't have a set here, and I get 5 points for sets of 2. I think it's sets of 4, which 1, 2, 3. I only have 3, so I don't get that. But I do get 9, 12, 17 points on top of that. So my final score, pretty low, 43. Now the Silent Angler scores differently. He gets 2 points for every different hatch tile. That's, he only has 3, so it's 2, 4, so he gets 6 points there. He also gets 3 points for every pair of the same fish. So he has a brook. He has 2 brooks and 2 rainbows, so he will get 6 points there. He then gets 1 point for every steelhead and 1 point for every brown. So he gets one extra point. Is that really it? I feel like he should have scored. Oh, does he score the fish points too? Probably the fish points too. Let's check him out. Yes, he probably scored these too. So it's add these. So I'm like, that's a low score, but he probably scores these too. So 3, 6, 9, 15, 18, an extra 20 points. That makes more sense. So he gets little 12, 14, 15, 35, and looks like I beat the Silent Angler on day 1. So now what we do is you will flip this over and say, I got a 43, you got a 35, and then you go into logging what you've got. So they have a logbook, you log things, and then you can unlock some stuff for your next game. Let's do that. That here, that's fine. Doesn't really matter. So we caught 3 browns. So we're 2 away from getting a star. We caught a grayling and a brook. Now, if we caught then it goes into the big ones. Did we catch the big brook? We caught the 2-point brook, so we did not. We didn't catch the 7-point brown. So we didn't get any of the big guys. But if we caught the big one, the biggest card, biggest value fish in the game, we would have got an extra star there. So I did not. Balanced fishing, making sure that you're catching a fair amount of each color. I got 1 green. I got 2 silver, 3 silver, and 1 gold. And these stay here. So once it's full, you don't get any more points towards that. So that is those. Bonus hatch token. That each. So it's 1. I didn't catch 8 fish. That's that. So now I didn't get any more stars, so I can't add any more stars until my next game. But the next game I do, we get to go here to the Hunter's Cabin because we have successfully won a game here. So now we move on to the next one, which would be right here at Hunter's Cabin. And that's how you play That's how you play Freshwater Fly. I'm a fan of the game. It's a cool game. It takes a game. It takes fishing, which to some could be dull, but I find it relaxing, and it makes it into a game. It's kind of like, not comparing games at all, but it's kind of like what Wingspan did for bird watching. It's like, okay, well, now bird watching's a game. Well, now fishing's a game too. You can play it here. So let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you guys later. Have the best day ever.